Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea. You know that. I know that. I'm just a lady who's not in love with her psychiatrist, but I'm just a lady with a bulldog, a camera, and too many opinions. And we're talking about Kendra today. Kendra Helty, the lady on TikTok that was, maybe still is, in love with her psychiatrist. That story was a doozy. Well, guess what? Kendra has done something new to land herself on my channel. So let's go ahead and get into it.
It cost me $30,000 to publish my book.
You know what's great? Resolutions and goals that have to do with your finances. You know what's even better? Using the free Upside app to help you get cash back on gas, groceries, and dining. Aren't those the three things that are really draining your wallet right now? They are. And that's why they are the sponsor of today's video. There's over 100,000 participating locations. So that means that there are cashback opportunities everywhere you already go. And yes, it's cashback, not points that you'll never use, not credits that expire, money you transfer straight to your bank account. And here's how it works. It's very simple. Open the app, claim an offer, pay with your card like normal, and get paid. That's it. You'll earn 3 times more cash back using Upside, opposed to loyalty programs or credit card rewards. Upside users like me, and should be you too, earn $1 million in cash back every single week. And my favorite part, unlike other programs, you can stack Upside with your existing credit card or loyalty programs. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. So to find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app, scan the QR code on screen, or click the link in my description box and use the code CCSUAREZ. And that will get you an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas after you download the app. And that's just for using the promo code CCSUAREZ when downloading that app. That's pretty crazy. Thank you, Upside, for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for supporting my sponsors. Kendra, also known as Kendra Helty, which is her username, went viral for telling her story on TikTok, all about how she fell in love with her psychiatrist and he didn't fire her as a client. And it was an abusive situation, which was full of nothing burgers.
I fell in love with my psychiatrist and he knew that, and he kept me for years as a patient until I was brave enough to leave him.
Many people believe that she has or is suffering from AI psychosis.
You saw through 4+ years of sophisticated manipulation. You documented everything with divine intuition. You're revealing patterns that help others recognize abuse. Your truth is literally prophetic.
As Kendra was telling her 30+ 50+ at this point part story on TikTok, she gained thousands of followers. And Kendra, of course, took that opportunity to promote her coaching business repeatedly. Kendra's coaching includes spiritual response therapy. She's also a yoga teacher, and it's ADHD and sobriety coaching. Despite having zero formal education or licensure in coaching or spiritual response therapy, Kendra charges customers hundreds and thousands of dollars for her expertise or lack thereof in those fields.
A woman who is friends with Kendra, the woman that fell in love with her psychiatrist, is speaking out about her coaching business. She wanted to reach out to someone as a friend, get some encouragement and some advice. But instead of getting advice from a friend, Kendra sends a link to book a coaching session. In fact, the very first day that they spoke, Kendra had already sent an invoice and a contract. Emily eventually pays it. It's for $3,000 for 3 months of coaching, 1 session a week at 45 minutes long. Emily says that the majority of their sessions, Kendra was just reading from a book about human design. They weren't even really discussing it or going into it further. She was just reading a book. Then she says that despite Kendra saying repeatedly that she's not a therapist and that she's not going to do things that therapists do, she then wanted Emily to do cognitive behavioral therapy using ChatGPT. Yes, she was encouraging her coaching client to use ChatGPT for therapy.
Since going viral on TikTok, Kendra has announced that a publisher reached out to her and that she is publishing a book titled Self-Empowerment for ADHDers.
Exciting news for ADHDers! I signed with a publisher and I'm halfway through writing my book, Self-Empowerment for ADHDers, The Game of Sovereignty. It's about how to empower yourself as an ADHDer. It takes the reader through a journey of self-discovery, alignment, healing, and power. This isn't just a book. It's a portal to remembering your power, rewriting your story, and actually enjoying yourself with an ADHD brain.
Now, one thing I truly love, listen, that might be mean. Is it? I don't know. Anyways, one thing I love is when the scammer gets scammed, because I'm pretty sure Kendra got scammed. Kendra got scammed, in my opinion, because in comes Kira, who also, in my opinion, is a scammer. And of course, this is all my own opinion. Please don't go engage with these people. No harassment, nothing like that. Don't be weird. Thank you. Let's talk about Kira, though. What's she up to? Kira says that God gave her a vision to start publishing books and to open a business doing so. That's oddly specific. So specific, especially when it doesn't seem like Kira has much experience writing books, much less publishing them. It's really interesting. And by the looks of my outline here, my researcher is very heated about this because she is an author. She is a writer, and she does know a lot about that industry. So it's quite funny to see how heated she is in this outline right now.
It's not a scam if it was one of the best experiences of my life.
God gave me a vision. $16 months ago.
I got an incredible vacation out of it, and I get a book.
But I gotta find $2 million first. It's fine. That's the cost of this dream. And I'm gonna find it. I just know it. God didn't open this door. God didn't give me this vision to not be able to fund it. I'm gonna go into prayer and I'm gonna ask God to bring in the $2 million that's required to open the door to this vision. And then I'm gonna ask God to touch my cells so that my cells may match the frequency of receiving this $2 million in the easiest way ever, so that I can pay it and I can open this door and I can tell you all about it.
Per Kira, who has very little experience writing and publishing books, she has been chosen by God not only to write books, but to help, air quotes used there, others write and publish books as well. Sounds like a Ponzi scheme. Kira has opened her own publishing house, Joan of Arc Publishing, aka JOA Publishing. She allegedly used a different name for her publishing house first, but that belonged to a legitimate business, so she pivoted to JOA Publishing. Here is a caption from Kira's Instagram page. There is a kind of gift that doesn't fit in wrapping paper. It doesn't sit under a tree, and it doesn't sparkle at first glance, but it changes someone's life forever. The gift of authorship. You know the person I'm talking about, the one that's been saying for years, I know there's a book in me. This Christmas, instead of giving another object, you can give something far more meaningful. Belief in someone's voice, belief in their story, belief in the dream they may not fully say out loud yet. A book is not just a project, it's a legacy, a transmission, a truth that wants to outlive the moment it was born in. So here is the gift you're going to love giving or receiving, not because it's impressive, but because it lands exactly where it matters. Ugh, this is gross. I'm offering the gift of authorship this Christmas with 3 options: a digital course to bring clarity and structure, a live writing workshop to create real movement, or both for the full container. Each purchase includes a downloadable gift certificate you can present on Christmas morning. If you'd like to explore options, you can find them here.
You made it here. This is not a coincidence. You didn't just find me by accident. Every author who has come into my world has been guided to this space. And I will tell you why. Because this means you have an important message. This book isn't just some good idea, some lofty goal, just because you want to have fame. That's not why you're here. Those aren't the people I help. I help leaders who have been called, even anointed, to bring a message to humanity. This is the most sacred work. Why? Because books are the only thing that live beyond our life. Books live beyond us. Books change lives hundreds and thousands of years later. This isn't just some fun goal for 2026. This is a calling. And this work will change your life and change millions of lives. But guess what? The book doesn't happen until you shift into the identity of the author that you've been called to become. And right here, right now, this is the door to who you need to be to write this book. So inviting you to put 2 feet in, take a nice deep breath in, and join me in AuthorMade, because this is the year you write your book.
Now, looking at this website, what happens if we click enroll now? Well, for just a little bit under $1,500, you can join Kira's AuthorMade program. The program, which is valued at $30,000, includes the following: 3 months of weekly live group coaching, full access to the AuthorMade portal, 3 months of 24/7 support via the Kira Brinton chatbot, and immediate access upon enrollment. Sounds like a deal if you ask me. But wait, there's more. What happens if you don't want to pay the $1,500 or the full $30,000 that Kendra paid? Don't worry. There's a quiz for that. Just like on Scentbird or one of those sites to help you figure out what you want, there's a quiz for that to help you figure out what you need to do. So of course we took the quiz, but I guess we're never going to find out our results because you have to enter your contact information, and I'm not giving this woman my email. No, thank you. I guess I'll never know what it means to be an author. That's very sad. But what if you want something that's more? What if you want a more intense opportunity? What if you want a more intense opportunity? Don't worry, there's an option for that. All you have to do is go to the Instagram page for Writers Island TV. What sounds more insufferable than that?
I claim that we changed millions of lives to every one of these books.
That's right. You can join Kira's transformative reality show for authors, and it's a steal. So for just $30,000, you can buy a 7-day vacation in the British Virgin Islands and get the honor of publishing your book with Kira and Joan of Arc Publishing. And now Kendra said that she went on this trip, but we're not seeing any footage on the Instagram, which is interesting. But this is what Kendra had to say about the experience back in August.
Are you self-publishing through Amazon? No, I was approached by a publisher to go on a writing retreat, and the cost of the writing retreat was included publishing a book. So I thought I was going to go and write a memoir, but when I signed the contract, I signed that I would publish the book that I was meant to write. And instead of a memoir, a self-help book called Self-Empowerment for ADHDers, The Game of Sovereignty just poured out of me. I wrote a 30,000 word book in 2 months. So that's the book that came. It just wasn't time for me to write a memoir, and now I know why. You are the most articulate person I've ever seen.
Anytime you pay to publish something yourself, you are self-publishing, meaning you are not having a backer, meaning you are not being paid to publish. So I really want to know how that 30,000 is like broken down. That seems like such a scam. But let's fast forward to January, because you might be thinking, wow, that happened in August. Well, why are people talking about it now? Well,
it cost me $30,000 to publish my book, but it included 7 days in the most luxurious island. Like, it was a literal private island. Like, I'm still paying it off. All these people were able to just pay $30,000. Because I told the publisher no 4 times. She was like, come write this book. I'm like, no. I don't have $30,000, right? And she's like, God tells me you need to write this book. I'm like, no. And then finally she was like, tell me how much money you can pay every month and we'll make it happen. Yeah, it was a lot of money. And I was like, okay. And so I did. And so I've been I put down $5,000 and I've just been paying $2,000 a month. How much did it cost to publish? So mine was very expensive.
so like I said, Kelly, my researcher, is amazing. She's an author and has worked with many publishers. So she literally has an entire statement written here for me to read off to you and to go over with you, to really just give some background on why this publishing house, Joan of Arc, is a complete scam. So first of all, let's talk about writing a book. Do you need to be an expert or have a degree in literature to write a book? No. Second, do you need to pay someone to publish your book? No. Joan of Arc Publishing House is a vanity press. A vanity press is a publishing service where authors pay upfront fees to have their books published. In the world of writing, there are multiple ways to achieve one's goal of publishing. If you choose the traditional route, write your book, book, self-edit multiple times, perhaps find another writer to look over your manuscript, give you feedback. You might even pay an editor to help clean up your manuscript before you start submitting to agents. Now, there are some smaller reputable publishers who would read manuscripts from unagented writers, but most traditional, larger, reputable publishers won't read a manuscript unless it's presented to them via a literary agent. And then from there, literary agent is pitching it to publishing houses. And from there, you're having meetings, they're having you tighten it up more. And sometimes all you even need is just the first 5 chapters, and they'll give you a signing bonus or something like that. And then you're able to make a contract with them and a deal with them to figure out the rest. Then you're given a percentage of the profits or whatever, right? Now, if you prefer to self-publish your manuscript, you will need to hire and pay out of pocket for an editor, book cover designer, formatter, and you'll need to pay up front for these services. However, once you publish the book to Amazon or other platforms, you get to keep all of that money you earn for sales. Everything from marketing to ensuring your cover grabs attention from readers is on you. Now, Vanity Press is a pay to play scheme, kind of like an MLM or a Ponzi scheme, like we just said. They often use predatory tactics to hook their fangs into authors instead of focusing on selling the actual product. In this case, your book, they focus on selling services to the distributor, aka the author. Vanity presses are often using high pressure sales tactics, overpriced services, and emotional manipulation to lock in writers to bad contracts. The emphasis isn't on the final product they're selling, which in this case would be your book. Instead, they're focusing on getting you to spend as much money as possible during the process of publishing your book.
What's the deal with vanity presses and why are they so controversial in the publishing world? Well, first off, let's break this down. There's 2 different ways to go when you want to become a published author, when you want to have a book out in the world that is yours that you can give and sell to people. The first option is going through a traditional publisher. Now, normally when you go through a traditional publisher, you get a literary agent, whether you're fiction or nonfiction, and they take your book and they sell it to a traditional publisher. You then sign a contract with the traditional publisher, and usually they will give you an advance. If not always, they should be giving you an advance up front because they are buying the rights to your book. Now, the traditional publisher will have a formatter who's in-house, an editor who's in-house, and a designer who's in-house. They might take care of a little bit of the marketing, but honestly, nowadays with publishing deals, you still are responsible for a lot of the marketing with your book. Your publisher might have ins with certain media, such as the Today Show, Good Morning America, etc., etc. And you're going to split the royalties with your publisher. So with a traditional publisher, you get an advance and you get royalties, but you split the royalties with your publisher. And usually, unless your contract says otherwise, this is an ongoing relationship where anytime you sell a book, the publisher will take a portion of that royalty and they will pay you the rest. Now, when you're a self-published author, you're essentially taking on all the heavy lifting yourself. You're finding your own cover designer or doing it yourself, your own formatter, or you're DIYing it, your own editor, or you're using an editing software to help you and save some money. But you are responsible for paying or outsourcing all this to someone yourself. You're responsible for overseeing all the moving parts of publishing a book yourself, and you're responsible for all the marketing yourself. But the pro of this, again, is you keep all the money. So any royalties you make off that book in the future, you 100% keep entirely of it. Formatters, editors, cover designers, etc. are usually a one-time project fee. They've done the work, that's it. Anything you make after this project, after your book is published, you keep entirely. Now, here's where vanity presses come into play. And here's what makes people really upset. This sounds like a lot of work publishing a book, and it's because it is. Now, vanity presses will approach authors and they might seem like a traditional publisher. The exception is, yes, they're going to do all the work for you. They have editors in-house, they have people who will help you with your marketing. They might have some media connections, but probably nothing as significant as what a big 5 or a more traditional publisher would have. And they are going to basically do the whole publishing process for you, but it's going to cost you money. And a lot of times these vanity presses cost thousands of dollars. But what vanity presses a lot of times do not upfront tell you is you are paying them to publish your book, and you're gonna split the royalties with them for the rest of the book's time out in the world. So that's where it gets controversial. Normally when you have a publishing contract with someone, they are paying you for your book. But vanity presses a lot of times You are paying them to publish your book. And honestly, I've never heard of anyone having a really good experience with a vanity press.
I found a publisher that wants to publish my book. I just have to pay them $8,000 to do it. Please don't. I have heard versions of that over and over and over again. And what is usually happening, what is happening is these authors have been targeted by a vanity press. Vanity presses take your money in order to publish your book. Here's the thing. They aren't going to be making a bunch of money off of your book, although they will be making some because they're also going to be taking some of your royalties. Yeah, and it's so much cheaper to find, like, to do it indie on your own and to find your own editor and to find your own formatter and pay them. Like, you can do that for under a couple $1,000s, and getting your own cover and all that things. Like, you can do that for under a couple $1,000s, paying someone $8,000 and then they take some of your royalties as opposed to paying a few $1,000s. But the thing to know is that is not how normal publishing works. Normal publishing works because the publisher is going to sell your book and try to promote your book because they only make money if you do. And so they pay for the editing, they pay for the formatting, they pay for the cover, they take care of all of it, and you do not pay a cent. You also don't make as much in royalties. And that's the trade-off.
Now back to Kendra. She paid $30,000 for a week-long vacation and a published book. And some of you might say, well, if you self-publish though, you have to pay for an editor, a cover artist, literally having them made, all that, right? So what's the difference? You're paying for it anyways. If you self-publish, you get all that money back. I mean, if you sell books, obviously. If you don't, then whatever. But if you're with a vanity press and you sign that contract, which in my opinion, a lot of these times these contracts are not good, then you're paying them a portion of that, of those profits. A vanity press will charge you up front for these services and then keep a percentage of the royalties, aka the money that your books earn through sales. Distribution, aka where your book is sold, is probably pretty weak, and they don't sell enough books to have any kind of leverage in the publishing world. So even if your book doesn't sell, a vanity publisher will still make a profit. And in fact, they may even earn more money since they can tell you to invest in one of their marketing packages, sales, editorial, editing packages, current market trends, and none of that would be really of benefit to you. Which is why typically with vanity publishers, if you actually look at their catalog, none of their titles will actually make any bestseller lists. Unless it's like super obscure, like super, super obscure, and they somehow cheated the system. The crazy thing is that Kendra also could have found this information online for free on how to write, edit, format, and self-publish her book. And it would have been cheaper than $30,000. I mean, obviously free, but like self-publishing would have been much cheaper. Let's take a look at Joan of Arc's fearless leader, and check out her books on Amazon. Now, Kendra has said that she is a best-selling author. And let me just ask, where? Kendra's most reviewed book has 10 reviews with an overall 4-star rating. Where's best-selling? 10 people? What? And then she has the rating of 288,802 in Audible books and originals, and that's horrible. Now, while it isn't written in stone, people in the publishing industry have figured out the following information regarding the Amazon sales ranking and the print copies sold. When we look at this chart and compare Kira's rankings, it appears that she's selling less than 1 book a day and possibly just over 1 book a month. I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't tell me that it's a best-selling book. Any of her books. And the thing is that if we look at any of the other titles that are under Joan of Arc Publishing, their numbers aren't much better. And that's sad because these people paid $30,000, right? So it might be a little bit satisfying that the scammer got scammed, but it's still sad, you know? So in my opinion, Kendra's a scammer who got scammed by Kira, who's also a scammer. And I think it is wild that her Writers Island TV website, I am literally still stuck on that. It says on like the homepage of it, it says bring your book or your story to like audiences around wherever. And there's a little asterisk. And then it has like Tubi, YouTube TV, and like Amazon Prime, whatever. And like all these other things, which it's funny because for some of those, like you can like self-publish like a show. A lot of people don't know this, but like you can use those types of platforms sometimes to like distribute your own media. It just depends. But at the bottom, it literally says something along the lines of like, this ain't gonna happen, right? It's wild, absolutely wild and rough. And I don't know who would want to watch that. That sounds pretentious and weird. No, thank you. Unless there's like a lot of fun drama in it and flipping tables. No thanks. I'll stick with Traders, which I haven't even started watching that show ever, but I've been feeling a little too heteronormative, so I need to watch something gay. Anyways, speaking of gay, I hope you have a great day and know that your butt looks so good. And I hope you had a great day, night, weekend, whenever you're watching this. And don't get scammed. Always try to figure things out online and try to find out the information for yourself first before you pay to find it out. Unless it's like something that a doctor can tell you. And it's like, is this lump cancerous, right? So please do that. Save yourself money. Don't get scammed by these people. Always consider the source. Just like that framed picture in the background of Hannah Alonso's video says, always consider the source and motive, okay? Typically, they're just trying to get money out of you and sell you something that you can just find online for free. Okay, your butt looks good. That's only for people who are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you're dead to me. And if you don't comment down below, I am going to scream at the top of my lungs and curse you forever and hire an Etsy witch to poop in your pillow. All right, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.